Hi everyone and welcome along. Today we are going to do some pen and ink pumpkin paintings. Now you try and say that. Grab your paints and let's get started. Right, so it is October, so it feels like a great time to have a bit of fun with some seasonal art. And whilst I mix my colours up, this is the perfect time to tell you about our sponsor, Skillshare, today. So Skillshare is an ad-free online learning community with new premium classes launched each week, and these are ad-free classes and they have subtitles, Spanish, French, Portuguese and German, which is pretty cool. This time I've been looking at a great class called Find Your Style, 5 exercises to unlock your creative identity, with Andy J. Pizza, who's an illustrator and general creative genius. And I think a lot of us on this channel who love to paint and create, sometimes it feels a bit hard to strike out on your own and actually know who you are as a creative. And I think it's a brilliant class, so it's well worth a look. And the first 1,000 people to use my link in my episode notes will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, which is so cool because if you've got a specific skill you're trying to learn, then Skillshare is the perfect place to start. Okay, I've got my colours mixed up. Let's get painting. This time of year is quite often a time where you want to be crafting and creating together as a family. So I thought we'd do a really fun, simple tutorial today featuring pumpkins. Now, I do a lot of sort of watercolour circles bleeding and blending into one another, and I thought, well, actually, what if I squashed them down just a tiny bit, made them a little bit more pumpkin-like, and we had a bit of fun with creating a pile of pumpkins. So what I've got is I've got Cadmium Orange I've just put down, and I've got yellow ochre, which I felt was a pretty good colour too, and I'm just painting them in a size 6 brush. Also, you do get gourds and things in greens as well, and I thought what's really nice is they come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? And then you'll notice I have got these pens right next to me, which we can do some cool drawings on top of these guys and give them some interesting detail. Whether you are into spooky pumpkins, jack-o'-lantern style things, or if you prefer the sort of slightly more serene, lovely autumnal pumpkin, it's really down to you. There isn't really a right or wrong with this one. But what I'm doing is using the sort of dilute colours and the fact that everything is kind of damp to just create a really fun little pile of pumpkins. So my cadmium orange, I'm going to just add a little bit of red to it as well to get a really like classic pumpkin. There we go. And we'll have a few maybe slightly precariously perch, nice sort of long squash. And then a really nice sort of classic coloured one at the top. I sort of feel like I want one there, but it's also part of me that goes, nah, it's kind of fun like that. I think we'll leave it like that. Okay, so we just need to let this dry 100% and then we can come back to put some detail on top. This is now dried 100% and I've got some fine line pens here. They're all slightly different thicknesses of nib, and I am going to now have a go at drawing in some details. So we've got a sort of gnarly knobbly stalk on a pumpkin, so that's the first thing I'm going to draw in on these things. So I'm just doing that with a sort of series of lines, and some might be curlier than others. And the other thing is, of course, the detail of the sort of ridges of a pumpkin shape. Now, I don't necessarily want to draw in every single line. But you start to see by just putting in these little curves at the top and bottom, suddenly we're starting to get some quite fun pumpkins. Like I said, I don't want to put too much in because I don't want to sort of ruin the fun of the style of the illustration. But I'm sort of imagining those lumps sort of joining up at top and bottom. So I'm going to draw those in, and then we'll see if there's anything else we want to add. So I think these look really, really fun. And now, just with my finest nib pen, I'm adding a few extra little sort of shading lines, and then just a few little sort of dotted lines. Not entirely sure why, but it just feels right. Sometimes you just have to follow your creative instinct, and that just is another point with Skillshare. If you don't have any creative instinct, then the class I mentioned is going to be a really fantastic thing to do. I think a lot of people just think you've either got creative talent or you haven't, and you can't really do anything about it if you don't. And I disagree with that massively. I think for starters, all artists need to practice. They need to keep their eye in. And in the same way, people who don't consider themselves artistic maybe just never gave themselves the time to practice. So like I say, do use the amazing offer Skillshare have given us with 1 month's free trial by clicking the link in the episode notes below, and I promise you, you won't regret it. So that is a lovely little autumn artwork using pen and ink and just some really fun, very simple watercolour shapes. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks so much to our sponsors Skillshare, and if you really enjoyed that one, then hit the like button and comment below to let us know how you got on with it. And of course, if you never want to miss another video, then hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and we'll see you again next time.